Hello, everyone. This is Odinite 23 here, and we're going to change it up a little bit. We're bringing you the Dresden Files. So sit back, enjoy, and watch Gene Smider get his ass whooped. Thank you.
Allow me to describe the scenery. We are in the city of El Paso. El Paso is a city that is crime ridden by both vanilla and supernatural forces. With the vanilla forces, those forces are mostly the cartels, and those cartels are propped up by different factions of the Red Court. There is a police station that is not far from downtown that is clued in. Additionally, the Catholic Church has some influence, but not as much as it needs to combat supernatural forces. You all, in this present universe, are located in a little tavern that is right next to Chloe's little shop. And by Chloe, I mean Harper. You guys are in a place known as the Witch's Row. Witch's Row is known by the supernatural denizens where you get to know things. So you guys are starting off. I'm going to place your locations right now, and then I will let you guys interact before I have my interrupt. So there are currently 5 people in the coffee shop / bar. You have Harper, who is sitting next to Thea, who are good friends. They're just in the corner, and you guys can decide what you're doing. Jean and Maharet are on the threshold to go into this coffee / little bar area. And there is one other individual. That one other individual is in the corner. You see a man. He has his hood pulled up. He has a coffee drink in front of him. But Thea, all you are feeling from this person is a sense of unending cold. So from this point, I will let you guys start off the interaction. We will start off with Gene Smider and Maharet entering into this little pub coffee shop.
Go ahead.
I go?
It's
All right. Hey, Gene, we got to do this. And I think we should talk to these girls from the store. They're sitting right over there. So maybe we should, address them. What do you think?
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
At the bar, you see 2 girls. One of them has an odd light to them, and another one is very plump. So the one with the odd light is very thin and quite tall. She has oddly colored hair. It seems to go from blonde to blue and turquoise. But everything else about her seems pretty normal. Thea, you would know that this is the changeling owner of the pub. Her name. These 2 people are known as the Carpenter Sisters, and the Carpenter Sisters own it together. The one that looks weird, that looks thin, her name is Emily Carpenter. The other one is Amanda Carpenter. And you see Amanda Carpenter approaching you guys, just waiting at the threshold. Hi, how are you 2?
In a rush.
Well, come on in. We can get your order going.
I'm told I can find something here. I need information. Okay.
Well, then you want to talk to my sister, I think. Why don't you guys go and have a seat at the little bar over there? We'll try and cook you up some coffee or some beer, whatever your preference is. And we'll see what's going on. Just know that we here do not abide by violence. Is that understood by both of you? Do I have your word that no violence will occur in this establishment?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. This is not an accorded area, so you are not honor bound by MAB, yet you will be honor bound by me. And rest assured, we will find a way to find you. Please, come on in and be well. And Amanda goes and shows you to the bar area.
Follow and take a seat.
Okay. Same with you, Maharet. Are you going to follow and take? Okay. Harper and Thea, you guys witnessed this exchange. Are you guys going to do anything, or are you guys going to continue to have a conversation with each other?
I figure Harper's just enjoying a bit of coffee right now and eyeballing them, trying to reach out and feel if she gets any sort of premonitions or any sort of pings that might make her want to talk to these people.
Okay. Well, this is where, hold on. So you have, so I am going to compel a little bit of precognition on you. So go ahead and add a fate point to you.
Sounds good.
You get a vague precognition that there is going to be something momentous, and all you see is a gray cloak.
That leaves me a bit curious. I'm gonna kind of make eye contact with Thea and stand up and move over to the bar.
Hey, what do you do?
I am going to follow Harper. Sorry, my child has just moved into my lap.
Are you able to determine why she's moving towards you? How do you feel about it? That is important.
Wait, you mean why Harper's moving towards me, or are you talking about Jean and Maharet?
All of the above. This is all going to play in.
I'm just following Harper's lead because she's giving me the eye.
Okay.
And I whisper over to Jean, hey, they're coming over this way. Thank goodness, because I don't have a good feeling about that guy over there in the corner. And we're really here just to get some information, and I think they could help.
Well, sounds good.
Okay.
I trust your judgment on this one.
Okay. Emily turns around as Harper and Thea approach and are like, hey, how are you guys doing? You guys never come up here. What's going on?
I just sit down at the bar and give a smile. I just wanted to say how good the coffee is today.
Hey, you guys are really on point. It is great.
But the whole time I'm kind of looking over at the two that just came in.
Oh, wow, I really appreciate it. That nasty man in the back did not like my coffee. I don't know if you've noticed this, but he hasn't taken a single sip, and he just creeps me out.
How do you go to one of the best coffee shops in the neighborhood, the best one in the neighborhood, and just not drink the coffee? What's wrong with people?
All he said is that he was waiting for someone.
Do you know anything about him?
I don't know. I've just got a bad feeling, but that's not enough for me to throw him out of the bar. Amanda interrupts this conversation. Is like, hey guys, how about I take your order, especially you, sir? What's your name and how can I help you? What information are you looking for?
First off, I'm Gene. And let's see some of this coffee.
Okay. Well, our coffee is definitely the best in the area. You know what? The first comers do not pay. It is on the house. How do you feel about a cappuccino?
Okay.
Okay. And how about you? What's your name, ma'am? And she looks over at you, Maharet.
Hi, my name's Maharet, and actually I'm quite starving. Could I get a plate of eggs and bacon and sausage and whatever kind of meat you have, and maybe some hash browns? That would be really great.
Okay. Well, we'll cook you up. We don't have eggs and bacon. We do have ham, though. Are you okay with kind of like a ham platter, maybe associated with some cheese as well?
I'll take it and double it up for me.
I got you. Let me be right back. And so Emily and Amanda move to the back area so that they're cooking up at the bar. And you four are just left alone together.
I kind of look over and smile and said, when they told me my first one was free, I switched to a beer.
So I'm
I
told.
smile and nod back and observe them. I try to lock in eyes to get a sense of whether they're going to be helpful or not, but I can't really tell yet. After seeing them in their store, didn't seem like they had a whole lot of information, but there's something about them. And so I nudged Jean to acknowledge and address them.
I nod my head in their direction. I'm Gene, if you didn't hear. And I'm just going to cut straight to the point. My daughter was kidnapped. I'm told you two may have something about it because nothing about it was natural.
Oh dear, that's awful. I'm sorry. And just with the mention of everything going on, I kind of look over to Thea. We'll have to wait a second for a response because someone just came in and demanded a channel change on the TV.
While we're waiting, I politely interrupt and I ask, how do you two know each other?
Oh, we've been friends forever since we were kids. I run the shop next door actually, and yeah, she's really good at digging up things that customers might want, but I don't have, you know, information, things like that. So if you're looking for some sort of information, she might be able to help you a bit more than I can.
That sounds good. What about this guy in the corner?
I actually don't know who that is. I'm not sure if I've ever seen him in his shop. I can't quite get a read on his face from here. I just don't like his vibe, so I'm staying away from him.
He doesn't smell right to me either.
No, I got a really bad chill in my spine when I walked by.
Yeah, I also did not like the feel of that guy. And again, why would you come to the best coffee shop in the neighborhood and not drink the coffee? It's just suspicious.
Do you think you'd be able to help them with what they're asking for?
What kind of information do you need? What are you looking for?
My daughter was taken about 6 months ago. Nothing about it seemed natural. I'm out of leads.
So we're hoping to get some information on any supernatural goings on in the area. Do you guys know anything about that part of the world?
When you say nothing about it was natural, what do you mean?
It wasn't a normal break-in. Just it's hard to explain, but you have the feeling this wasn't your everyday kidnapping by a, for lack of better wording right now, it's just like a normal person. There was something special about him.
Okay.
At this point, Amanda comes up with Jean's cappuccino and Maharet's ham and cheese and drops them down. And it's like, here you go. And Jean, I am so sorry to hear about your daughter. We have a lot of missing people who have missing family members come through here. We do work with some people. It's not easy, but we can see if we can direct you towards the right people that need to do anything. You have to be very specific about the circumstances so we can tell you who exactly you need to go to.
Well, I came home from work late. House was torn apart. There was a weird film on some things. Like almost a sheen.
Oh, was it a liquid or were you?
Somewhat. Like you couldn't really wipe it off of the object it was on. But I heard a noise upstairs in my daughter's room. I ran up there, and all I caught was the glimpse of her being taken out of the window by some figure. All I know is it was humanoid.
The upstairs window?
Yes. Leapt right out, landed like nothing, and kept running.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, does it sound like ectoplasm or?
All right, this is the interrupt. In the midst of your conversation, and Amanda listening in very intently, while Emily is at the bar, you, Thea, see Emily suddenly look at the entrance to the tavern. All three of you hear just a boom as a door is kicked open, and in steps someone with a gray cloak with a staff in hand, and another person with a rifle at hand, also wearing a gray cloak. The larger and more intimidating of the man is holding what appears to be a black sack in his left hand, with some unidentifiable liquid dripping from it. This man begins to speak. Severus Prince, you are charged with necromancy. You are charged with using dark forces for your own gain. How do you plead? And all of you see, or all of you feel, the man behind you rise and attempt to flee. What are you guys doing now?
I am going to grab Harper and drag her behind the bar.
I immediately jump up, draw my Beretta from behind my waistband, and aim it on the one with the rifle.
I keep eating my ham and cheese sandwich.
Maharet, you would know that this is a warden of the White Council.
So I keep eating my ham and cheese sandwich.
Okay, and staying very still. Smart.
Unfazed.
Okay. Jean, you feel an odd sensation wherein your hand appears to be frozen into place, and you cannot describe this sensation. Meanwhile, and as a mortal, you have no defense against magic.
Okay.
The larger and more intimidating of the man draws his sword as you witness the man who was in the background attempt to fire some green, nasty something at this warden. And the warden just puts his cloak between him and this individual in the back. It slides off his cloak, and in one fell swoop, beheads this man directly in front of you. Now what are you guys doing?
My mouth still works, right?
Your mouth does still work.
Just my hands are pretty much frozen.
Your hands cannot make any sort of fist function or any sort of, you cannot pull the trigger on your weapon.
Okay. But I can still move around.
You can.
I walk right up to him. I needed that.
Directly behind you, a different man with a much more Western accent. Thea, you recognize him as Wild Bill, who is the warden for this area. Says, points his rifle at you and is like, now, let's not go making decisions that we're gonna go regret here. Calm down, and maybe we can help you out, but this man was about to take all of your lives.
You're gonna want to listen to him. I'm still behind the bar. You're gonna want to listen to him, Gene. He knows what he's talking about.
Okay, or just get a coffee without something weird happening.
I want to know what the hell is going on.
The more intimidating man turns around and grabs you by the scruff of the neck and moves you very quickly and with practically zero effort to a plush couch behind you. This is not a matter for those who are not of our world. Leave now. There is someone here named Harper Blackwood. Please approach me immediately.
Harper stands up really sheepishly, trying to look to Thea for encouragement.
Can you at least
Standing
grab
up
a
right next to you.
cappuccino on your way over, please?
Harper Blackwood, you are innocent of any legal intent, yet you have furnished those of the darker elements of our world with books that would, in fact, help them with their necromantic acts. There is one that I have become aware that is in your shop now. The lead their Earl King. I hear that it is on back order at your shop. If you furnish this book to me now, you will be in no trouble. Where is your shop, and give me the book. We will give any coin that is necessary in order to have that book.
Girl, I'll tell you right now, that is an expensive book. You could probably have some in my office. Just give him the book.
Harper nods. It's just down the way a bit. I can show you to the shop now if you need.
I look up and I glare at them.
Okay.
To non-verbally suggest that is not a good idea.
Not a good. You are glaring up at Warden Morgan saying this?
I'm looking at Harper and Thea after what they just said about giving him the book and telling him where the shop is.
Okay. Hold on, I need to grab something real quick. I should have grabbed this earlier.
Unprepared DM strikes again.
Then I look over at Jean. Who is furious but trying to control his temper.
Yeah.
And I give him a reassuring glance that I got his back.
I'm curious if I'm still held off my feet.
You're on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine they're not gonna let you get up until they're out of the area because you're clearly a little volatile.
Yeah. Can I at least have my cappuccino? Or is that out of the question?
And then I look back over at Jean and I make a face telling him to shush.
Okay.
Jean sighs.
The person who you now know as Wild Bill says, "All right, you two," and he points at Maharet and Jean. "I want y'all to go down to the bar really slowly. And then I will stay with y'all, and we are just going to have a little bit of a chat by the bar. You two," and he points to Harper and Thea, "I want you two to go to the shop. I promise you, as long as you listen to us, no harm will befall you. You have my word."
Can I
Your word
change?
is representative of the White Council?
My word is, in fact, representative of the wardens of the White Council. Yes, dear.
Okay. Harper, we can go with them and get them the book. Their word means a lot, I promise.
What the hell is going on?
What the hell
We can
is
talk
a
about it a
warning of the
little
White
bit.
White Council?
And so, Warden Morgan ushers Thea and Harper back to their shop. So you two parties are now separated.
I get up and grab my cappuccino on the way, sit at the bar.
On the way out, Thea and Harper, both of you glance back and you see Emily staring daggers at Morgan. And Amanda fretting over the body of the now headless person.
Don't y'all usually handle the body disposal?
Hold on, repeat that, Thea.
Warden, don't you guys normally handle the body disposal, or is this is that not a thing you do anymore?
Changeling, why do you think I left Wild Bill back there? Please let us go to this place and see if you have this book.
Can I change now?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll talk later.
Well, you're the one who found that book for me.
Allegedly, yeah. Let's look at the book. We'll give it to, yeah.
Oh, okay. And at this point, Thea and Harper, you are both out of the coffee bar. Jean and Maharet, do you guys sit down at the bar as requested by Wild Bill?
Yep.
I'm already sitting at the bar, still eating my ham sandwich. So Jean comes up and sits next to me while Wild Bill comes over.
All right, y'all. I'm sorry about the little event that we had here. Had us a little baby necromancer got himself his hands on a book that he really shouldn't have had his hands on.
All right.
Sorry
all right,
about it.
all right. I'm going to stop you right there. What the hell is going on?
Gene Smider. That is your name, right?
Depends who's asking.
Well, it's me, and you don't know me, so I'm going to assume that I'm right, because I usually am. Now, Gene, I know you've been making some inquiries around your child, and I'm just going to let you know that I understand what you're going through. I've lost many people, although I have never lost a child. I'm going to go by the door real quick to make sure no other baby necromancers come up and try to use your souls in order to raise up an army of the undead. When I get back, maybe, just maybe, if we think it's appropriate, myself and, my partner, Warden Morgan, will go and explain to you the laws of magic, and then we're going to leave so that you may do whatever it is you wish. Please do not leave this bar area. Do y'all understand?
I look over at Jean.
Oh! You're talking about magic and what the hell's a warden? And then there's a dead guy over there with no head. Anyone want to kind of mention that?
And at this point, Wild Bill simply cocks his rifle so that you know that it's loaded. He's like, we can talk about that later, Gene. You just sit nice and pretty with that bar.
I put my hand gently on Wild Bill's arm as he's holding his cocked shotgun, and I very sweetly and flirtatiously tell him, or you could maybe stay here for a few seconds and try and help my friend out with some questions and calm him down now before this gets any more escalated.
You see Wild Bill look over at the bar owner and just say, Emily, do you think you can bring them up to speed? I'd rather not end this messily with y'all dead and me not. And so you see Emily nod, and she comes to the bar. And now we're going to pass that point. During this time, Emily goes and explains to you who the Wardens of the White Council are. And now we're going to switch over to Thea and Harper. You guys are on your way to the store with Warden Morgan.
Hooray.
Dun, dun.
Oh, it's just right up ahead. I believe we keep this one on a locked shelf.
Yes, we do.
All right, well, I just want to make sure that we have this book in good hands. You have no idea what is in store there. And so I will allow you to unlock that door. Do not make any sudden moves, Harper Blackwood, especially you, changeling.
I am cooperating fully.
They reach the front of the store, and she just kind of very shakily pulls out her key ring and unlocks the door and invites him in.
Okay. When you enter your storefront, you find it in complete disarray. Nothing is exactly where you found it. The book that you said was locked away is, in fact, that cabinet is now smashed. You can see it from your storefront, from the threshold, and you know that the book is not there anymore. What is it that you are going to do?
Is my cat okay?
I'm going to grab Harper's arm in case she decides to go in. I want to make sure it's safe first.
Okay. Are you going to use any of your aspects or your studs right now?
No, just preventing her from rushing in, just in case, and also pulling her out of the way of the door in case the warden wants to go stomping in.
You see the warden look at you, Harper. It's like, Harper Blackwood, your security leaves much to be desired. Where is this book?
Sir, she's not clued in.
Okay, changeling. Then I advise you to tell me where this book is. I will hold you personally responsible for this book's missingness, given that Harper Blackwood is not clued in and you chose to allow her to buy this book.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't know what I was getting. Someone requested it. This is what I do. I get the things. I don't know where it is. We had it locked up. We were waiting for the buyer to come in. I think he was the buyer supposed to come in today, or was that? Did we get that figured out?
It was supposed to be today.
Oh shit. Okay. Have you checked the body of the necromancer?
The necromancer does not have the book on them. He has been under surveillance for some time. You see Warden Morgan come forward and reach towards you and Harper both. Do you guys do anything in particular?
Take a step back.
Okay. Harper, you?
I'm just going to ask him, what makes this book so different than anything else in the shop? Why is this the big deal?
Before he answers the question, he grabs you both by the hair and yanks a couple pieces of hair from both of you.
What the shit?
He looks down at it, and he looks up at both of you. Harper Blackwood, Thea Finch, you cannot run from me. You cannot fight me or hide. You will both find where this book went in 48 hours' time. If you do not, I will find you, and you will both face the justice of the White Council.
I don't know that you have that authority. She's not a practitioner. I'm not part of. I'm in the Winter Court. I'm not part of the council.
The council claims authority over all mortals.
Ha!
Let's go to the bar right now.
Fine. We were cooperating. We haven't resisted at all. There's been no hint of anything but cooperation from us. I don't understand why you had to rip out my hair, man.
It's because...
Harper, do you say anything?
I think Harper's just a little bit stunned into silence right here. She's literally terrified.
Okay. Go ahead. And by the way, Thea, you can feel the terror coming from Harper. I don't think I'm going to compel anything from you yet, though.
Yeah, I don't think knowing that I am standing in front of Morgan, I'm not going to try to feed off of her at all. What with the murder being imminent.
So Harper and Thea are ushered back to the bar area during the conversation between Amanda, Emily, Maharet, and Jean. Jean and Maharet both. You are both caught up on what the White Council is. You are both caught up on the fact that the wardens are the policing arm of the White Council. And you are both caught up on what the seven laws of magic are. Jean, based off your character sheet, I'm going to let you choose whether or not your paranoia is going to kick in for a fate point or not.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Now I'm extremely paranoid of everything.
Okay, so add yourself a fate point. And let's see, what is the stupid paranoid thing that you do right now, Gene? What is within character?
I start kind of shuffling back from everyone, just making eye contact slowly as I back myself into a corner. Slowly put my hands pretty much where I can easily defend myself.
All right. You are in this position when Thea, Harper, and Warden Morgan come back into the bar.
Let me guess. They know this shit too.
And Emily looks at you and is like, no, Gene. And you can clearly see that every single person there, minus Maharet, is utterly terrified of these two figures that are in front of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just terrified of everyone.
Okay. Warden Morgan simply looks over at Harper and Thea and says, 48 hours thence, you have this amount of time to return the book that was unrightfully given to you.
And how will we get a hold of you?
We will meet you here in this building in 48 hours. Do not miss this rendezvous. And you see Warden Morgan take out a bag of coins and give it to Amanda, who is sitting stunned behind the bar. For your troubles, miss. My apologies, but this man could not be allowed to let necromancy go into your shop. And you see Amanda take it with startled hands. And you hear Wild Bill be like, well, that's it now? He's like, that's it. We have other work that must be done. And you see them both turn their backs to you and leave the building. Emily Carpenter looks at Thea specifically and is like, Thea, what the hell just happened?
So, apparently the book I had to get was this big deal. And somebody stole the book, and now they want the book, and we're fucked. So I would like a beer.
So dead.
You guys didn't hide the book?
The book. I mean, I didn't think it was that big a deal. I didn't know it was in it. I didn't read it. I just get the things.
But they didn't get the book either, did they?
No, someone stole it. It's gone.
Good.
No, not good. We have 48 hours to get the book or they're going to kill us.
They can't touch you. They have no grounds to stand on. You have done nothing wrong.
Yeah, maybe they don't have grounds, but they sure should have our hair.
You let them get your hair?
Did you not see the very large man?
Why is everyone so worried about the hair? I'm a little worried about the guns and swords.
Now that they have your hair, they can track you. They can figure out where you are, where and whenever.
Yeah, they can find us pretty much anywhere. So, either we're here in 48 hours or we are somewhere else hoping for the best.
Well, now we have to find this book and figure out Aaron's disappearance. Maybe there's a connection.
I mean, I'm no offense to y'all, but I am more concerned about this book. I don't know what stealing a little girl would have to do with the book, but
how about we help you find the book and you help us find Aaron?
Emily reaches out to Jean, who's in the corner, and you all see this. Emily seems to have a somewhat soothing effect on you, Jean. And your paranoia appears to be... Go ahead.
Wouldn't I still slap it away at first?
No, not with the amount of magical pressure that is on you, and not with the gentleness by which she is approaching you. And she approaches you, and she puts out her hand, and she puts it on the hand that has the Beretta, and she breaks a magical binding there. So you have a weapon in your hand that you can now use.
I go through weapon check.
Okay.
And then
And she said,
I give her a nod. Thank you.
Emily looks at you with what you see as the most heartfelt plea that you have ever seen in your life. And she's like, Thea is my friend. I don't know how I can go through this life without her. She is a dear friend to me. Help her find this book, and I will point you in the direction you need to help find your daughter.
Thanks, Em.
Jean kind of ponders for a moment, slowly nods, and walks over to the beheaded man. And I assume some of that substance he blasted is still on the ground, at least.
All you see, that substance, is just a dark scorch mark in the wood.
So it's not the same stuff I found.
It is not the same stuff you found.
They're back for building.
I start rifling through his pockets. Any pouches, pockets, anything on him.
You find a note on this person. It says, meet me at the pub or meet me in the library if I am not there. You find some gold coins that you cannot identify. You find a silver coin that you cannot also identify. And you also find a weapon, a gun. That's a Smith & Wesson, to be specific.
So, 6-shooter revolver or semi-auto?
6.
Are we talking 38 special or full on?
Your character is able to identify it. This person right here is Dungeon Master.
I just need to know, is it a compact or is it full size?
It's compact.
Okay. I tuck it in my boot. Hey, there's a note and some coins on this guy. I walk over and put the note on the table that we're all kind of congregated around. Throw the coins on there too. Haven't read the note yet, but figuring some of you can at least identify what the coins are.
I'm just gonna shuffle over and kind of stare at the headless body.
I should be able to identify it, but I'm unsure.
Wondering if there's anything else I notice.
Uh, hold on. Okay. Darn it. I'm not seeing your aspects, Rita. Hold on.
Cast out Omega, unwilling exile. I don't think that means what you think it means. What is love? Breakfast Club, 90s angst. I have
Okay.
I have knowledge of most things supernatural, but I failed in my studies. So it's hit or miss.
Okay. Would you like to use one of your aspects right now? I don't think that means what you think it means, or would you prefer to not use that aspect?
I want to use it.
Okay. All right. Subtract one from your fate points. And so you look at the gold coins, and you note that these gold coins were used in ancient Egypt. The silver coin was used in the Roman Republic just after the times of Jesus Christ. So it would have been at least 2,000 years ago. It does not, to your eyes, Thea, it does not appear to have any supernatural inkling, in case you were going in that direction.
Oh, definitely going in that direction.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how well the Denarians are known in the supernatural world, but I just don't trust old coins in the pockets of a necromancer.
What does this even mean?
You would know that this means, Maharet, that this person was an Egyptian sorcerer of some kind, an acolyte for a long dead group that you have not heard of that went up against the Egyptian pharaohs long ago. Whether or not you say that aloud.
I tell the rest of the group what I know about the coins, and then I shrug my shoulders. I really don't know what this could mean, you guys.
What about the note?
All the note says is to meet whoever it is, someone else presumably, at the library or at the pub.
You know, for the wardens being all I'm right there, their awareness sucks.
Does your character say that?
Yes.
Maybe they already knew who he was. They said they'd been following him for a while.
Yeah, but I doubt that. That one seemed like he had his head so far up his ass. He was probably tasting his own fucking hair.
All right. At this point, after you've rifled through his pockets and put it on there, one last detail. So, Jean, when you agree, you feel something warm seemingly grasp your arm. No one physically is grasping it, but you feel something as if there is some kind of binding upon your agreement with Emily.
I kind of look in the direction of it and just sigh. All right.
Okay.
Well,
All
sounds
right.
like we're going to the library.
All right. At this point, Warden Wild Bill comes back into the bar, and he's like, "Hey, y'all, I'm very sorry for Warden Morgan. He kind of gets a little bit paranoid, and, for good reason. I just want to let y'all know that you do have our support. We are not asking you to go up against anyone. We are just asking you to find the book. If you know who possesses the book, and I would recommend that if you're going against some necromancers, maybe just call us instead." And he goes and he hands Harper. He hands Harper a stone. He's like, "Miss, all I want you to do is if you find the person who took this book, just drop it on the floor. I will know that it was you dropping it on the floor, or I will know if somebody pushed you to the floor. If you drop it to the floor, I will come a running, and I will make sure that we get this book back. That makes sense to everybody here?
Yeah, is your buddy still gonna murder us if we don't get it back within 48 hours? Cause like we're
I
trying.
don't make any promises for Warden Morgan there. He tends to be much more of a literalist when it comes to the eyes of the law. If he thinks you're doing black magic or aiding black magic, he'll bring you up to trial. Best to just do what he says.
White magic, black magic, blue magic, whatever. Do these necromancers bleed?
And he looks at you, and he looks over at the corpse that is on the floor, and he looks back at you. And it's like, well, supposing you have the proper tools.
I pull up.
And at that note,
I pull out my. I think we got this.
At the end of this, can we get our hair back, or at least have it destroyed? Because I don't really like the idea of that guy having the ability to track us for whatever nefarious reasons he may have, such as murder.
People can track you from hair.
Yeah, buddy.
So you see Wild Bill. You see him look back down at you. He looks up. He looks at Harper, and you see a shift in his expression, almost a look of pity. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna make sure that as long as you guys do your jobs, we're gonna make sure that that hair is destroyed. In fact, if you prefer it, I will go ahead and make sure that you guys get your hair so that you know it is destroyed. How does that sound?"
That'd be great, thanks.
Harper just nods. Did you look at this note at all?
And I assume you reach out with the note.
Yeah.
All right. So he looks down at the note and he's like, "The library? I can't imagine any necromancer going to any regular library."
Why not? Books.
And you see just Wild Bill shake his head. He's like, "Look, the only library that I can think of is perhaps there is a supernatural library. That's not too far from here. It's not the regular ones that you guys think of. This might actually be a little bit over your heads, but Warden Morgan has made his decision, and I am technically subordinate to him. All right. Well, there's a supernatural library down yonder, maybe about 4 miles away. You need to go to the back of a meat packaging plant. And when you go to the back of it, and he looks at you and he's like, "Are you going to let me finish speaking, or are you going to keep spouting your freaking mouth off?"
Well, are you going to cut to the fucking chase or beat around the damn bush all day?
Bro, your life is on the line here. Can you just like chill out and let the man speak?
All right, let's see if he's going to do it. He is not. Give yourself another fate point, by the way, there, Gene. You're going to need it. He's like, "Well, once you go back to the meatpacking plant, all you got to do is knock on the door to a shed in the back. You need to knock on it in a specific verse. I'm going to show it to you now." And he shows you guys, specifically you, Thea, as the person whose life is in danger, what the secret handshake is. At that point, they'll let you in. But I'll be honest, we don't go there because we tend to scare all the customers away. We only go there maybe once a month to, let the people know what the laws of magic are. I could go with you because it's been 2 months since we got there, what with this war with the Red Court going on. I could go with you, and you would be protected during that time, but you might not find as much. Just an FYI. What do you guys want to do?
I appreciate the offer, but I feel like even if we're able to have the protection, we're not going to get the same information. And going back later may not help because they've already seen us with you. So I'm kind of down to not take up your offer, but I appreciate it.
All right, then. I'll take my leave. And the warden goes, he nods, and as he goes on, you see him take out a hat and just put it on his head. And he walks out the door.
Jean turns. So, I guess a meat packaging plant then?
Should we call the cops?
That was the cop sign.
Cops are useless, trust me.
That too.
Well, let's go.
So, Maharet, you are full.
So,
All right. So,
anybody have a car?
I can't drive.
I don't know.
Let's just get an Uber.
No eating in my car. No smoking in my car. No drinking in my car.
No drinking water. Is water allowed?
I call shotgun.
If you spill it, I swear you will spend the entire time sponging it up.
It's adorable. Okay.
Well, I'm glad one of us has a car. I don't even have my license.
We'll sit in the back. I'll explain what I can.
And I walk them out to my prized ride. A 98 Honda Accord. 2-door, 4-seater. Hatchback. It's got dents and dings and rust all around, but it still purrs like a kitten.
After Thea and Harper get in the back seat and I get in the front seat, I lean over to Jean and I tell him, you need to chill out. These guys are on our side. We're trying to find Aaron.
I don't know what to make of any of this anymore.
Well, let's go with it and see what we can find out.
That's about the only option I have left. And I start the car and take off.
All right. As you start the car doesn't start right away.
Does it make a click?
It does click.
It does click. Starter's good.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah.
I shrug my shoulders.
I pop the hood. Get out.
And when you pop the hood, there's a very simple component that seems to have popped off. That was it.
I sense something's wrong. I smell someone or something has messed with the car, and I pull Jean back. I tell Harper and Thea to get out of the car.
I swear, if someone messed with this, I put the component back on once everyone's clear.
All right.
And then I look underneath and check the brake lines.
There's nothing in the brake lines. There's nothing underneath the car. The only thing that you've been able to notice is that, something popped off.
I'm just going to reach out and touch the car.
And it pops right back off. No, I'm just kidding. No, everything seems clear. Thea, let's see your abilities real quick.
I turn to them. Anyone sense like magic thingies or like aura or whatever, residue?
I definitely did.
It's in the car, isn't it?
Thea, you have a stunt called Glamours, correct?
Yes.
Can you describe what that stunt is supposed to do?
Give me one sec. Trolling.
Huh?
Glamours. You're able to create a basic glamour of the Fae, minor veils, and seemings that make something able to look like what it isn't. So I can do minor veils. With a moment of concentration, I can draw a veil over something to hide it from sight and other means of detection. And then seemings, I'm able to cause someone or something to appear to be other than what it is. Usually this is personal, but it may be used on other objects. So that's it.
All right. So with this ability, we're going to give it a bit of a passive ability as well. You are thus able to see if someone has also done a very poor veil. And you can see that someone very recently attempted to veil it and did a very bad job of it. You can also tell that the veil is mortal.
Okay, what did they veil?
That part you're not able to tell. You can just tell that it's in the back seat.
Interesting. Okay. Is there anything I can do to touch or like feel it, I guess?
You could probably throw a rock at it.
Hey, anybody want to throw a rock in the back of the car? Like back seat or back hatchback?
Excuse me?
There's something back there.
Thea, do you sense something? Do you think something's back there?
There's definitely some kind of veil thing going on back there. It's
What's a veil?
it's magic Heidi. So it's like
Okay.
Harry Potter, invisibility cloak. Somebody pulled an invisibility cloak over something in your back seat.
I reach back there and try to grab whatever it is she senses.
Okay. You sense something very solid for a split second, and then all of a sudden it vanishes. Along with that veil sense, Thea, that veil sense is no longer there. So something was there, and as a world walker, you can tell that the breach between, or that the veil between worlds has been breached. You can also tell that the circle. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
You could also tell that it was very, very tiny as far as the breach goes. So it was not a significant, or it wasn't a significant sized entity that went through. It was something small, maybe about the size of your fist.
I think you had some kind of tail, man. There was something in the back of your car. I don't know what it is. All I know is that something has pushed through the veil and now it's not in your car, but that is concerning.
Okay. So there's nothing in my car, right?
Not that I can currently tell.
Okay. Well, I got the ignition.
Harper, what do you make of all this?
I'm still just trying to poke at the car to see if anything pokes back.
Okay, well, nothing's poking back. Maharet, you did that. So, Gene, you said that you're just going to start up the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have psychometry, which allows me to catch glimpses of the past when I touch things.
Okay. Would you like to use that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Bring one down on your, fate point. And all you can glimpse is that there is a fuzzy brown creature. You can't make heads or tails of it. It's got beady eyes. It's got what appears to be dog ears. And it appears, to be almost like a fluffy, now I'm forgetting the name of it.
Chihuahua? Pomeranian?
No,
Chinchilla?
Hedgehog?
It was...
Chinchilla?
A tribble?
Porcupine?
Hold on. What is the owl thing that was really creepy in the 90s?
The owl?
A Furby.
There we go.
Oh, hell no. There was a Furby that came through a demonic Furby?
Well, didn't Erin have a Furby when that was her favorite toy?
Yeah. Hated the damn
Oh,
thing.
There's a little fuzzy guy back here.
Okay, and you describe it as such.
He's still there?
Aaron, you would immediately, or Gene, you would immediately know that it is that the description matches a Furby.
What color is it?
Did you say it was brown?
I did.
I didn't catch that part. That was my daughter's, wasn't it? Or one.
That is another mystery.
Well, I would recognize
Okay.
if it was hers or the one like hers.
Yeah, I'm just calling it a brown little gremlin Furby thing.
I grip my hands on the wheel and push the gas a bit more.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. 2 blinks. That's a good thing. You guys don't have any other interruptions on the way to the meatpacking warehouse.
Okay. Can we take a quick break?
Yeah, let's take 5 minutes.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
So you guys make it to the meat packaging plant 4 miles away with no other hiccups. You guys are outside of it. Now what do y'all want to do? Go ahead and make your game plan.
So,
Do we just walk up and do the knock? Do we scope this out first?
How, I guess, secluded is the area?
That is a good question. The area is very secluded. You see this meat packaging plant seems to have a whole bunch of, Thea, you will notice, a whole bunch of iron oxide. Some are all strewn throughout the area. Aside from the meat packaging plant, which is in disrepair, completely no longer in use, there is still the stench of butchered pig somewhat in the air, but it's 30-year-old pig. So it's
Okay.
just vaguely there.
is anyone else getting slasher video vibes?
It's not like they want to have a supernatural library where most people can accidentally run across it.
Great. So, you're saying we may have a magical Jason Voorhees?
Let's hope not. I'm just going to recommend we don't mention the wardens. They are not popular among. They're not popular. Just stay calm. Don't do anything crazy. Maybe keep your guns away. I don't know. Seems like it might be the best way to have a polite and fruitful interaction.
Thea, do you think they'll give me a library card?
I don't think I've been here, so we can ask. I don't know what the rules are.
I'm gonna need some books.
I pull out
Yeah, that's how we got into this situation in the first place.
I pull out the little compact Smith & Wesson.
No, you need to put that away. We can't have. They're not going to let us in there with weapons out.
Just
Especially not
bear
anything
with
that's
me. I open the cylinder, check how many rounds.
If you're gonna bring that in, just hide it.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just making sure it's ready to go in case we need it.
How many rounds you got?
I count the rounds. I guess I have 6.
You have 6 rounds. Yes, it was entirely unused.
Tuck it back away in my boot.
Try not to shoot anybody.
Well, they should try to not stand in the way of my bullets then.
Okay, so what is the plan?
All right, so I'll knock since I've got the pattern, and then I guess we'll go in and see what the inside's like. I haven't been here before, so I'm not really sure what to expect. Just try to be polite, try to be calm, and don't make any deals, you, Harper, or Jean.
I'm going to be listening intently to make sure I have the knock memorized.
Fair.
I do the same.
Okay, I'm going to do the knock on the shed.
All right. A slat in the metal that you did not previously observe appears and goes transparent. And you hear a voice act, "What is your business?"
We're here looking for information. Also, books.
I'm in the back just like, books!
If knowledge is what you seek, you have come to the right place. Be warned, weapons of war and violent actions will not be tolerated here. You hear the door crack and hiss, and you hear the voice say, "Please enter and be well."
Thank you. I'm just eyeballing Jean like, if you fuck this up, I swear to God.
This is a word of advice. Now might be the time to describe the laws of hospitality.
Right. So while we are in here, we are under the hospitality of the proprietors of this establishment, which means that if you fuck up and pull a gun on anybody, the rest of us might get fucked. So I'm going to need you to put it in the car. Can you just put it in the car? Is that an option? Can you put it in the car?
All right, but I'm still walking in with my boot knife.
He said weapons of war. I think that counts. But again, if you do anything,
it will stay in there unless someone starts it.
I mean, I've got a ritual knife on me too, so.
And I walk back and put my stuff back in.
Thank you. All right, Maharet, I just need you to keep an eye on your boy. If he does anything dumb, just brain him.
Got it.
Okay. As soon as Gene puts his weapon back in the vehicle, the door opens wide.
Almost like they knew.
Damn magic people and their things. Muttered under my
All right,
breath.
so I guess we're gonna go in.
Let's go.
All right.
Harper and Thea go first.
Sure.
Jean follows. I'm in the back.
Okay. As you guys enter, you see just a wide array of library. It resembles, in practice, the Library of Congress. There are just rows and rows and rows of books. There seems to be more space than any sort of shed could hold. Thea, you will know, you can tell that you are not in the realm of the physical and are definitely in the realm of the never never.
I can tell that too.
Yes, Maharet, you can definitely tell that too. Good call. Harper and Jean, well, Harper, you can just feel a vague uneasiness as if you've transitioned to a different place, but you can't place it. Jean, you have no idea what's going on.
1 second, sorry.
Okay. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Just sorry. I doing stuff for today.
Okay. So it's like a TARDIS in here then.
It is bigger on the inside.
That is an accurate description. As you guys walk in, you see somebody in a black suit and black sunglasses on the inside. They have an American accent and they go, "Hello. How can we help you here today?"
I'm gonna look at Harper because you've got the note, right?
Yeah, I do.
What exactly did the note say?
It said someone was going to meet in the library if they weren't in the pub.
I turned to the guy. Well, I'd ask for help with renovations of a house, but unfortunately, other things bring it here.
The man looks over at you and says, "We actually do have a number of titles that are able to help you if you are so choosing. Understand that the cost for this knowledge is your time. The cost for any knowledge in here is that in turn you bring us books. So we give you knowledge, and in turn you add to the knowledge of the collection. That is the general rule of this place. You can take knowledge from here, but understand that if you take knowledge, you must renew that knowledge in some other fashion."
So I can just drop you a Kindle and be good.
They won't work here.
Why not?
The man in the black suit and black sunglasses looks at Thea and nods. And he looks back at Jean and is like, "It is true that most parts of this place do not have the ability to function with electronics. However, we do have one place that interfaces very well with mortal technology. We are very interested in anything to do with database access. We are very interested in anything to do with technology because unfortunately many of our patrons do not understand or have access to these things. So if you bring us back some of these kind of books, we will reward you as generously as we know how with what knowledge we have."
What kind
Now,
of books are you?
Quick question. You said as long as we bring knowledge back. What if your knowledge
Yes,
is
I did.
What if your knowledge is already here?
The goal is not...
All of us have knowledge. We can just transcribe something for you and there's your knowledge.
That is true. However, it must be knowledge equivalent to what you have received. And the arbiter is the one who determines what that is.
So now we have arbiters.
We do indeed.
I gotta get a notebook.
Now, what is the true purpose that you have come here for? I sense that two among you have more urgent need than others.
Yeah, trying not to get murdered is pretty urgent. So we are looking for information. We had a book in our possession recently that we should apparently not have had. And now we're trying to get it back because someone has stolen it from us. The lead there, Earl King.
Ooh, yes. There was a necromancer that came here recently, looking for different knowledge. And he attempted to trade that knowledge with Delir the Earl King. We could tell immediately when he brought that item in that it was, in fact, stolen property. So we have a different section for that. If you would like to, before we deal with our uninvited guest, if you would like to ask some questions of this person, we can show you where this person is. However, we deal with internal matters internally.
So I can just drag him outside.
Don't.
The man looks at you.
Did
By
you
the
say
way,
that? Did you say that you just received a stolen book?
we did indeed. However, we did not know whose it was. We can tell based purely on the aura of your book and the aura of one of your party that this book does indeed belong to you guys. However, and we do not return books if the interested party does not come here within 90 days. This book was stolen several hours ago, and therefore you are definitely within the time frame. Please come with me. What is your name, miss? And he looks towards Harper Blackwood.
My name's Harper, and I own the shop the book was stolen from.
Harper. And as he says your name, you feel a shiver going throughout your body. I recommend you not say your name in this institution in the future. These walls will remember your name.
So names are something we have to worry about then.
They have power, yeah.
Now we have to worry about names.
Yes. I should have warned you about that before we went in.
Names and hair.
Please come with me, Miss Harper, and we will get your stolen property back to you. You also, under our rules, are authorized to ask questions to the person who stole your property, why they were interested in it, and you are allowed to advise us what you want to happen to this uninvited guest.
I would like to join Harper, please.
Is she allowed to have companionship?
The woman over here can choose who may come with her, up to 4 people.
You all are welcome to, of course.
Very well.
I don't think we should split up.
You think it's a good idea?
I don't think we should split up. Let's go.
This person in a black suit and black sunglasses brings you to an increasingly bright area. So bright is this hallway that you cannot see or view the titles on either side. The person in front of you who is leading the way says, "Please continue to step forward. Do not veer around. These titles are not for your viewing, and as such, you will not be able to read them. However, as long as you continue following me, you will not have anything to worry about. No danger will befall you."
I guess I understand why he's wearing sunglasses in here.
That makes sense. So, Jean, behave. I don't want to get stuck in a realm full of endless light.
Thea, did you just say his name?
Dang it.
I don't think you can give someone else's name up. Can you?
No, you can't. No, you can't. But I was just curious. Okay.
I guess.
So,
Nicknames, y'all.
All right. I kind of.
All right. So this person. Go ahead.
I get behind Rita and put my hand on her shoulder. Please, just lead me.
I got you.
Okay. Jean, just letting you know your paranoia is getting worse the deeper you get into here because you do not know what is going on.
I'll spend the fate point.
Okay, you'll spend the fate point to avoid those actions. All right. So we continue on, and the person leads you to a counter. You see a ladder just magically appear, and this person goes like 4 stories above to an area that you didn't even see there were bookshelves, and comes back down almost mechanically, and hands Harper Blackwood the book. He says, "Ma'am, is this the stolen book you were looking for?" On the title, you can see that it is Delir der Earl King.
I look it over a little bit, show it to Thea, just kind of ensuring that it is in fact the book.
Do I get any sense on it that it's not?
No, it's
the person says, "We do believe it is. Please let us know if there is damage to it, and we can add it to the accounting of our uninvited guest."
Yeah, can we just phone that in later? Look, this place is starting to give me some. Yeah. We might need to get out soon.
He continues to look at Harper, expecting an answer.
Is there anything wrong with him?
So it still has the same creases in every place. It's a little bit dusty, which you find weird if it was only stolen hours ago. It, but in every other way, it appears to be the same book.
Well, why is it so dusty? I ensure it stays clean in my shop.
Ah, that would be a function of the library. The dust here is not the same as the dust in the mortal world. This dust is designed to preserve the titles. Um, don't worry, before you leave here, that will turn into ectoplasm and will not stay on your book.
Harper just kind of shrugs helplessly.
If the book looks right, then we can take it back. Do you want to question this person?
I think we should talk to him.
I really want to, but this place starts to
Harper-
freak me out.
Harper just kind of thumbs the gem in her pocket and it turns back to the man in the sunglasses and said, "I'm allowed to bring one more person in, right?"
Yes, for this interview, you may only bring one other. You may not bring more because the cell's capacity cannot hold the spiritual influence of all four of your party. However, the other two may observe behind some glass so that they might see what is going on.
Is she allowed to bring someone else in from outside?
Generally, yes. However, keep in mind that you must do so within the 90-day period.
Can I just drop that gem here?
Hold on, which gem?
The stone that calls Wild Bill over if I drop it.
You can.
So I'm trying to get clarification. What's your stance on wardens?
Ah, the wardens, old enemies of ours. They would seek knowledge for themselves instead of allowing people to see this knowledge. We are associated with the archive and additionally associated with a group that you may call the Men in Black.
Like Tommy Lee Jones.
So we gotta deal with aliens now?
Ah, the Men in Black, I forget. Mortals have their own different definition. The Men in Black is a supernatural and mortal alliance of sorts. They are those who do not belong to the current power structure. We are not what would be known as signed to the Accords. We instead have our own institutions. We go with those who would respect the rule of law. We are generally aligned with mortals more than we are with the Fae. Yet, it is important for us to be able to share the knowledge at the appropriate time.
So the government conspiracy theory is true. Who knew?
Okay, so what kind of questions do we need to ask this person? If you may want to wait to drop to hand it over until we're out of here, just for.
Yeah, Harper kind of sighs and puts it back in her pocket, deciding
Okay.
it's not really a good idea at the time.
Oh, so you had it out in front of you there, Harper?
No, she had it in her hand.
Ah, okay. The Men in Black glances at you, or sorry, not the Man in Black. The person in the black suit and the black sunglasses turns to Thea and asks, "Why do you inquire about the wardens?"
They've been around lately. Just we were at what's the name of the pub? Can't remember.
The
no.
coffee bar.
Yeah, they beheaded a necromancer at the pub recently.
You just want to tell them our birthdays
Thank
too?
you. Thank you for speaking plainly. I did wonder why you had the stench of blood around all four of you. Kno- Knowing that the wardens was involved does make some sense. If you would like one of the articles, because once you go in there, ma'am, and he looks over at Harper, you may ask 3 questions of the person. After you ask those questions, we give you the option of taking custody of the uninvited guest, or you may leave the uninvited guest to us, and we will decide how best to make him pay off his debt for trying to send stolen goods to our glorious library.
I don't want anyone like that in my responsibility at all, personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Of course,
Well, now
if we send this person,
he may have.
if we send this person to you, if we send this person to you, we are under obligation to ensure that this person does not harm you, noting that you are not an active practitioner, ma'am. Therefore, we do have a number of methods. You will have to pay for those methods with some knowledge of some kind, but we can discuss the terms after the questioning. Do you agree to this?
So 3 questions, and we get to take him, though disarmed?
He would be disarmed through methods that we use. That said, you will have to pay for the materials used with knowledge in the future. So just keep that in mind if we assist you in that manner. Does that make sense?
She looks over to Thea and Maharet for reassurance.
That sounds reasonable to me.
I
I do think we should have a discussion amongst ourselves to figure out what the 3 questions should be, because this is pretty important, and I don't know if we'll have a chance to get answers again. Will he answer truthfully?
There is a truth field, so no one can answer untruthfully within those walls.
Very well then. I agree, but we need time to come up with our questions.
Of course, you have 90 days.
Or our money back.
He looks at you and gives a decidedly irritated look behind his sunglasses.
Fine. Turn to the group. So, what are we gonna do here? I kind of need to get out.
You do, but you also you have questions you want answered, right? If you
I do.
give her the question, we can get the question asked, if nothing else.
I feel like we should ask if him or the people he's involved with are involved in the kidnapping of mortals.
Okay.
I mean, I've got my job back. My book's complete. We can either use these questions to help the wardens or use these questions to help you.
But all I ask is at least one question for me. But I will say, this book does have me curious. Why do you want it? What's so great about this damn book?
I think that's why we're not going to sit. No offense, I don't know if we want to send you in with Harper, because you might override and take the questions and just start going.
That's why I agree. I need to get out. Also, this place
Yeah.
is starting to get to me.
Yeah, so we're trying to find out what the most pressing information that we need is. So
why does he need this book? What does he know about the disappearance of Aaron? Why is White Court after him?
Well, he's a necromancer. That's why the White Court's after, or the White Council's after him. That's just what they do. They kill necromancers.
What does he know about the necromancer they just killed? That he was supposed to meet? I'm assuming they were supposed to meet.
What about if he's working as part of a larger group?
We need to make sure they're open-ended questions, not yes or no questions. So how would we ask that one?
While you guys are discussing amongst yourselves, the person is simply being very patient, standing still, not seeming to pay attention to any of you guys at all. It seems as if this person has infinite patience.
Well, he did say we had 90 days. Should we leave and bring Billy? Wild Bill? As your +1?
At the mention of the warden, the librarian, the man in black and the sunglasses, says the wardens are absolutely not authorized on these premises.
Right answer
I
that.
think we come up with our 3 questions and then we take him with us and let Wild Bill talk to him after we get him out of here.
Okay, so the questions we have. Why are you interested in this book?
What do you know about the disappearance of Aaron?
And what is the group you're working for?
Those sound reasonable to me.
What if we ask
The man
his
in the
name?
black suit.
As what now?
What if we
The man
just-
in the black suit looks at Jean, and he smiles, as if genuinely pleased at that statement.
That is brilliant. Should have thought.
I didn't hear it, sorry.
Ask for
missed
his
it
name.
too.
What if we just ask him for his name? Since names have power now, I guess. Wouldn't that give us essentially power over him?
All right, let's do it.
We'll use that question instead of the last question we had on the list.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Do you want anyone to go in with you, or are you okay doing this alone?
Harper, let me go in with you.
I'll take Rita.
Okay. Yeah, that works for me.
I start trying to make
All right.
my way out to
Listen.
my car.
No, you
Has it
stay
been-
here.
Now
What?
he looks between Cadet and Jean, and he says, "No one will be staying here against their will."
You'd be surprised.
All right.
Walk over and just sit down.
We've got to stay together, Jean. Just wait.
Close my eyes.
Hey, you know what?
And
Why don't we sit down and have a chat while they're in there? Maybe we can do that.
There you go. Thank you, Thea.
All right.
So the hold on one.
Made me go alpha for a second there.
But it's work.
I'm just really protective.
Yep.
Understandable.
Apologies, I thought something was going on. Okay. All right. You guys have decided on your questions on who will be going to do the questioning. Please come with me. I will escort you to the premises. And so a person takes you out of this bright hallway, and it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and leads you to an outside area that is a garden. There are a bunch of leaves and a bunch of flowers, and he goes towards a different building. As he passes the flowers, he says, "I recommend you never touch those flowers. You may find yourself never wanting to leave." And so he continues on, and he goes to a different building. Do you guys follow him in?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so goes to a different building. This building is dank and damp. It feels decidedly uninviting to Harper and Maharet and Thea. And even Jean, you feel a little bit of your paranoia tucking. And goes forward and looks at Thea and looks at Jean and be like, Be well in the waiting area. Know that no harm will come to you so long as you are in this place. Gestures you guys to his right to a waiting area that is full of some dilapidated seating that, just has some tears, but is otherwise just really old looking. It looks like an 80s era hotel that kept its decoration through 2023.
Looks like my first apartment. All we're missing is a kitchenette and a hot plate.
All right. And he says, right this way. And he points you over there, expecting you to go to that area.
I head over and sit on the sofa.
I'm going to go sit on the waiting area.
Okay. You both find the sofa very inviting and very comfy, but not so much that you want to sleep there. He looks at Maharet and he looks at Harper and says, please come with me to our invited guest, and brings you guys towards what appears to be a holding cell. He goes right through with no key through the door and looks at you and says, as my invited guests, you are able to do so as well, and invites you to step through.
I go first.
And nothing happens. You go through.
Seeing that it worked for her, I go ahead and step through as well.
All right. Basically like platform 9 3/4.
Not good.
All right. He leads you to a center and opens a door. There is a man who is in some kind of weird chains. It appears that they are looped around his wrists. There appears to be spikes in there. You can see some blood running down his arms. As you enter, this man looks up and is like, who is it that wants me? The man in the black suit and the sunglasses looks at you guys, smiles, and is like, you may ask 3 questions in here. Do not ask more questions unless you would like to incur a debt with us. And leaves the room and shuts the door behind you guys.
I'm going to step forward a little bit and look at the man and see if there's anything particular recognizable about him first.
Okay. You see an Ouroboros tattoo on his right forearm. You see that he has shaved his head bald. You see that his teeth have somewhat decayed as he is gritting his teeth against you. You see that his eyes are wide and bulging and absolutely mad. And Maharet, you can tell that this man has no ability to project magic. You are not feeling anything, even though in any other circumstance, he would clearly be able to project some sort of magic at you.
Okay. Hey, Harper, I think we should ask him the last question first.
What's your name?
My name? You dare ask my name? As he says this, he continues shaking his head as if he is being compelled to answer what his name is. I do not want to answer that.
But you have to.
He continues to shake his head, but now he is visibly shaking. I do not want to. That is not for you to know.
We were told we can ask you 3 questions and you must answer them honestly.
And he shakes his head and he puts his head back and he bellows, I am Jeremiah of the Erteach clan.
Harper, write that down.
I am furiously writing it down.
As soon as he says this, he slumps forward, as if in great relief.
Why did you want this book? And Harper holds it out in front of her.
This book. This book. And you can see him form the word means nothing to me, and yet nothing comes out. This book. And he continues to shake his head.
You are compelled to answer.
This book will help us reach power and glory that you do not understand. We want this book for power.
Harper just kind of nods quietly and then turns to Maharet. You can ask the third question.
Power compels you to answer.
Oh, I feel like I need to reword this question now. I pull Harper aside in the corner so that he can't hear.
Don't ask anything out loud, okay?
Me?
Yes, not until you're sure of the wording of the question.
I'm trying to word the question, but now that we know his name and his clan, he didn't really give us a lot of information on that second question. He just said power that we cannot comprehend. Like, how do we make it connect with the disappearance of Aaron? How do we ask him?
We could always assume that he's involved and ask him why they're kidnapping mortal children. This does give us information to work on.
Okay, I think I got it. We walk back over and I ask him, what do you and your clan have to do with the disappearance of Aaron?
He gives you a quizzical look and asks you a question in turn. Aaron, who? He says, with such contempt and rage behind it.
I pull out a picture of the little girl. Aaron Smider, mortal human girl. What do you and your clan have to do with the disappearance of this little girl, Aaron Smider?
He looks at the picture. He looks back at you. He looks back at the picture, and he starts giving a very eerie laugh. And he laughs harder, and he laughs harder. And when he can catch his breath again, he's like, of course you would like to know. Of course you would be curious about such a thing.
You didn't answer my question.
And he starts laughing more. He's like, indeed. That girl is the key to our power. She will be the one that allows us to devour the Egyptian god that waits in sleep. She will be the one that goes the road forward. All of the dead pharaohs, all of the dead servants will one day come and serve the one. Through her, we are connected.
Shit.
I start forward.
I start shaking. I clench my fists. We're out of our 3 questions. I look over at Harper and I wait for her cue.
I don't want to be around this man any longer than we have to. Let's just get the hell out of here and turn him in.
We need to take him with us. He knows a lot more than the 3 questions could give us. I'll pay the debt to the library.
Are you sure?
Yes, we need him.
Well, what more do you want to ask?
Well, we can't ask it now, but they did offer for us to take him. We can let Wild Bill, get involved in this once we leave.
Yeah, that sounds good to me, but only if you're sure. I'm sure I have books I can trade to pay this debt.
We'll worry about that later, but we need him right now.
Very well. I look over towards the door. The man in the sunglasses left, correct?
Correct. The door is
in the
closed.
other room. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna open the door and look for him.
You see him standing outside the door, completely serene. As you open the door, he turns around and he's like, "Have you asked your 3 questions?"
We have.
I see you answer truthfully. Please, bring you and your companion with me, and we can discuss the predisposition of this guest. And he leads you through the bars, which once again don't open, yet allows him through.
All right, I'll go ahead and move on through a bit more confidently this time.
I follow right behind you.
All right. And he brings you over to the waiting area. Now I'm going to switch to Thea. Thea, what is it during this time frame that you have been discussing with Jean?
Just gonna try to ask him stuff that might keep him calm, tell me about good things about his kid, things that maybe will help him not be, paranoid and panicky.
Okay. Jean, what questions are you going to ask Thea?
Mostly about confirmation about the supernatural stuff, and the big one. So, is there anything else I need to know about now, so I am not surprised later and really screw up by shooting a warden in the face?
Well, if you see someone out with a gray cloak, especially if they've got a sword, don't mess with them. That's the wardens. They generally don't get involved with non-magical affairs, but I think they are authorized to defend themselves. So just avoid them at all costs. They're the worst. Let's see what else. So things you need to know: guest rights and host responsibilities. Basically, if you give someone hospitality, you have certain obligations, as do they. You cannot harm somebody who you brought into your hospitality. If you have invite someone into your house, there are rules you have to observe with the supernatural. I don't know how it works with the mortals, but with supernatural folks, there are strict rules you have to adhere to a point. Just making sure that you're not inviting someone in and then shooting them in the back when they're a warden, for example, because there are massive consequences. Don't give out information freely if you can avoid it. Be careful about making deals, and be aware that the Fae can't lie. If you run into anyone from the Never Never, they can't lie, but they will do their best to talk around the truth in a way that makes it very difficult to know if they're lying or not.
Clarification, not all of those in the Never Never are Fae.
Correct, but that's just, in general.
Yeah, but I can tell the difference. I mean,
Can you?
I don't think I could.
No, probably not.
No.
I want to say something, but I'm not in this conversation.
If it's background information that you think will add, by all means, you may. Because you're walking in at the tail end of this conversation. Is that the last part of what you explained, Max?
I think so, unless he has any more specific questions. I've just been, wondering about, I guess, his child. What is she like? What are her hobbies? Kind of things that parents like to talk about their kids.
Oh,
Mhm.
well, her mother died during childbirth. So it was just me and her. And it was rough. All I had was my shop. And I had no idea what I was doing, as any parent would. And, well, started bringing her to the shop with me, and we started
And in the
bonding.
midst of you saying that, Harper and Maharet make their way into the guest room along with the man in the black suit and black sunglasses.
Once I see the man, I shut.
Would you learn?
I'm still visibly upset, but I'm quiet. I want to reserve any more comments until we leave the library.
Harper kind of gives Jean a sad look, though.
You have asked your 3 questions. What do you believe the disposition of the guest should be?
We take him with us.
I think, yeah, we can sign him over to me.
No, I'll take the responsibility. Harper will figure the rest out later.
Unfortunately, ma'am, the only person who can take custody is that to whom the debt is owed. This man has stolen from this woman, and therefore only she can take custody of this uninvited guest.
Ugh, I shake my head, and then I nod at Harper. She has to make a deal and give them knowledge. She owes them a debt if we take him.
So it can
The
be
debt.
multiple dollars.
Do you say this? Do you say this aloud? By the way, Maharet.
Yes, because he already said it to all of us earlier.
So the man in sunglasses looks at you and says, understand that custody of this person incurs no debt. The debt is incurred wherein we give you the method so that this person may not harm you. That requires materials such as what was used in that room. We can bring you those materials that will work in the mortal world.
I have duct tape in the trunk.
Was he a magic user?
Are you asking that question?
Yeah, I'm asking Harper and Maharet if they could tell.
I can tell what?
If he was a magic user, because duct tape won't really hold him if he's a magic user.
He's definitely a magic user. He's a necromancer.
There is a key question you should be asking.
Uh-oh.
How would I pay off this debt?
That is one key question. We would ask knowledge of you. We are interested in computer databases and how they work. If you were to give us a book on the basics of how this is structured, that would be sufficient for our debt.
How long would I have to bring you that book?
Probably
You would have
90
until
days.
the end. You would have until the end of the 90-day period.
Called it.
How responsible is she for his actions if she takes him?
So long as he does not harm the library, we do not care what he does. He is in your custody.
Harper just kind of shrugs. I can pay that.
Hold on. What are the terms of his release? I need terms of release, and I guess what materials? Can the materials be returned as well, or does she keep those?
We would be willing to take the materials back for a lesser debt. Uh, the materials themselves, in the mortal world, here in this library, we use a handcuff of fairy make. The spikes wedge into the mortal practitioner and prevent them from using magic. However, this person would be affixed with iron in the mortal world instead of something of our make. This would prevent them from using magic of any kind.
What else are you going to give us? Is it just the handcuffs? What else are you giving us?
Can she transfer his custody?
The handcuffs will be sufficient for this prisoner. You will have the handcuffs and you will have the prisoner, and we will, as a matter of courtesy, gag them so that they may not speak unless you would prefer them to.
Would you be willing to give us the magic for him to be honest with us while he is in our custody?
Unfortunately, that magic does not work outside of the library.
What if we drag him back to the library? Do we get 3 questions every time?
He looks at you and he is severely angry. We deal with those who
I'll take that as a no.
Who would steal books and knowledge harshly. We do not want this man in our library if we give you custody. Do not bring this man back.
Got it. No givesies backsies, guys.
Well, I'm sure we can talk to Wild Bill and he can figure something out.
Actually, Wild Bill may have an anti-magic thingy.
Are there any other consequences we need to be aware of before we take custody of him?
None from the library, no.
And what about outside the library?
We could not tell you what consequences would be out in the mortal world. Were this person to have friends, perhaps they would be upset, but I don't know anything about that sort of thing. That would be knowledge that we would extract from this guest were he to stay in our custody.
Do you know why he was trying to give the book to the library?
Typically, the relationship between the library and those who would receive knowledge is generally confidential. But, hold on, let me take a look again. Because I might ask you to spend a fate point. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Oh, yes. So, supernaturally binding gift exchanges is the one that I will compel from you. For us to give you that information, we must receive information in turn. We believe symmetry would demand why you need access to this information.
I think I'd like access to the information because it seems odd that someone who needs the book would be turning it into the library if they still needed it. And it sounded like it seemed like he'd still need it.
Is that the information that you seek?
How do I want to phrase this?
This is a very generous way.
Yeah, I know. Like why he was turning this particular. Was he trading the book for? Okay. Was he trying to trade the book for another book?
If we give you this information, you must tell us why you seek it.
Knowledge is power.
That is a very vague statement, but we
Very
will
fair.
proceed. this person was trying to trade this information for knowledge on the necromancer known as Kemmler.
Harper, write that down.
Okay, good to know.
Does anyone recognize that name?
It sounds familiar, but I can't think of why.
I don't recognize it at all.
Never heard of it.
Maharet, you hold on. Let me see. I wonder if I'm gonna do the fuck yourself compelling in you.
You're gonna compel me?
Might. I think I am actually.
Dun, dun, dun.
I am gonna compel this aspect. I will give you a fate point. That is, I don't think that means what you think it means.
Okay.
Kemmler is a toy maker who made explosively tipped knowledge, basically all kinds of magical explosions, how to explode things. That is, to your knowledge, based off this aspect, what this person what Kemmler is.
I share that with the group so everyone knows.
Odd.
That doesn't sound like necromancy, but I don't know a lot, so okay.
Is
The librarian stares at you completely expressionless and says nothing.
Before we transfer custody over, would I be able to step outside and talk to someone?
Of course, you have 90 days.
90 days in which realm?
And he looks to you and smiles.
Touche.
That is a good question. It is 90 days in our realm, not 90 days on the mortal coil. Understand that 1 hour in here may well be worth 1 day out there.
Holy crap, it's an actual hyperbolic time chamber.
Or it was, yeah.
There is a follow-on question you should be asking.
How long have we been here?
You have been here for just under 1 hour.
How long has he been here?
Just over 1 hour of your mortal. No, of our mortal time. I suppose that means that it would be 1 day out there.
I need to go outside and talk to somebody now.
I think I have to go with you.
I'm going with you. We'll stay together. Let's go.
Okay.
We'll be back.
We will be here. Let me show you to the exit.
Thank you so much.
Please.
As you guys depart, he looks at Maharet and is like, please come back. We value all kinds of knowledge, including falsehoods. And he just shuts the door.
Okay.
I know that you guys went in during the day. It is no longer the same day, and it is nightfall.
Okay, we may need to call Wild Bill ASAP.
They gave us 48
Yeah,
hours,
but-
guys. How long have we been in there?
At least a day, possibly a day and a half.
Yeah, I'm a dumb student. I can't math. So are we at 48 hours right now?
I'm just going to pull a stone out of my pocket and drop it on the ground.
You still got the book on you, right?
Never let go of it.
All right, let's do
All
it.
right. You guys feel a gust of wind, and Wild Bill appears nearby. Not super close by. He's maybe 600 meters away. You see his hair slick with just something. And he's like, I don't think I'm going to go through that way again. And he approaches y'all.
Okay.
Just kind of gonna raise an eyebrow at him. What way?
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah, y'all don't need to know. Just know that if you go about 500 meters that way, maybe don't open away that way unless you want to get an up close and personal relationship with an alligator in a stream.
Mm.
That's not the most normal thing I've heard all day.
And he just looks at y'all and he's like, all right, well, I felt the stone being dropped, and your 48 hours are coming up, so I assume y'all have the book?
Right here. She just kind of holds it up and offers it to him, not really wanting to hold on to it any longer than she has to.
And so Wild Bill holds up his hand. He's like, hold up. There is a matter of protocol. Morgan demanded that he was present during that time. You must be at the coffee shop at that 48-hour mark. I would take it from you, but in the event that I lost it, you guys might, have to deal with Morgan, and nobody wants that.
You are correct. However, there is an extenuating circumstance.
He looks over at you and he's like, and you see him be very cautious with you specifically. And he's like, what kind of extenuating circumstance might that be, miss?
The library still has the thief, and the only person who can get the thief out, if anyone wanted the thief, is Harper.
We're thinking a friend.
And he's already been in there for about 2 days of his 90-day limit.
Well, now. All right. The White Council likes to take care of their own, and I fear what the library is going to get out of him, particularly considering that he's a necromancer. Yeah, if you guys want to just give that person over up to us, we'll take care of them.
We have a few questions for you first.
He looks at you with an undecidedly unfriendly glance. He's like, what questions would you have for me?
Can we take a break and do a side huddle?
No. Wild Bill wants wants an answer now.
What was the question?
What do you know about this clan? Harper, you wrote it down. This necromancer belongs to this clan. What is it called?
Did you say clan or teach?
That is correct. Well, that sounds like that would be White Council business, and not the business of those who are, maybe not capable of taking on fully fledged baby necromancers.
They have something to do with Aaron's disappearance. We want to know what it's about.
Who precisely is Aaron?
My daughter.
He looks at you and he softens his gaze and he's like, I am very sorry, sir. Typically, when a necromancer takes a little girl, it's not for good things. I don't imagine that your daughter is still here with us. I don't think going after, in grief and rage, a necromancer is going to be good for your, shall we say, lifespan.
What did he say about the child when you asked him?
Hold on, say that again?
To Harper and Maharet, what did he say about Aaron when you asked?
It was a great deal about opening the way to a sleeping Egyptian god and calling up the pharaohs and the servants. That was a little bit too dense for me. Do you?
They said she was the key to what gateway?
I wouldn't put too much stock in what a crazy ass necromancer wants to do. You just give him over to me. Oh,
No. He's ours.
Well, now he might be yours, but keep in mind that we have jurisdiction over necromancers.
Doesn't matter.
I recommend.
Sounds like we need to talk with the White Council anyways. They're going to come and knocking. We have him.
The only deal that we made with you was to give you back the book.
Exactly. He's ours.
He gives Maharet and Jean specifically very ugly looks. That is true that was our deal. Keep in mind, though, that any practitioner of black magic, mortal practitioners of black magic, is under the jurisdiction of the White Council. More importantly, this area is my jurisdiction as the representative of the White Council, and I am compelling you, as a warden of the White Council, that you will turn over this necromancer for justice.
And I am compelling you, since this is your jurisdiction, that you help us find Erin, because she has something to do with all of this.
Listen, sir.
I understand.
It's just a kid. You don't have any way you can help them at all?
I never said that we wouldn't help them. This is out of the way class.
Well,
that means that it should be the White Council that handles this. If this girl is alive and is the key to whatever necromantic mumbo jumbo that madman wants to do, we will find her. And if we find her intact and she has not been driven mad by black magic, good sir, she will be returned to you.
Good. And
but
in the
you
meantime,
must turn.
we'll be doing our own investigation with our boy. So we'll see you when you come a knocking. Go do your homework, and we'll convene later.
I'll
He
be
looks
the
at
meeting
you.
point with the book.
He looks at you. He's like, I understand that you have questions. And as a father, I can understand why you might have those questions. Some of those questions might be sensitive in nature. If, before we take this person away in the custody of the White Council for justice, I would be willing to entertain, without the presence of Warden Morgan, asking some questions to this necromancer. How will we keep him safe, though? Most of the time, we just have to kill him, and I think that's what y'all don't understand. This person's going to kill you and raise you up as the undead.
Don't worry.
The library offered certain assurances, and in exchange for knowledge, if we offered some restraint on how effective it is, because it's not my area of expertise.
You see Wild Bill wince at the idea of restraints, and he's like, I think I know what you're talking about. He's like, all right, well, how about this? Your 48 hours is up in 9 hours right now. We will meet 7 hours from now at this location. If you bring me this necromancer and you ensure that this necromancer has no capability of,
Magic.
killing y'all and raising y'all from the dead, I would prefer not to slice y'all into tiny little pieces. Then I will work with y'all and I will ask some questions.
Well, until we meet then. And if he does kill us and raise us back, well, at least I get to finish that bone I got to pick with you.
The
It
only
looks
issue
like
we
you
just have,
need
we have time limits to get back in and out, so if we can do that as quickly as possible, that would be great.
Yeah.
7
Do we
hours
give-
allows me to.
Do we give him the book or do we keep the
Nope.
book since he gave us 7?
Oh no, he wants us to give it to Morgan.
That's right.
The book
Okay.
is yours for now.
We need
Because
it.
I don't want to cross Woody Morgan. That man scares me.
Okay, then we'll see you in 7 hours.
All right. See you at this location in 7 hours. And with that,
This
he departs.
location?
This location in 7 hours, the pub in 9.
Can we get something to eat? Anyone want me to pick up burgers?
All right. And that is where we will end the session.
Okay.